In Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Dave DeForest reporting more on the California shooting. A U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation says authorities believe both suspects in last week's shooting in San Bernardino, California, were radicalized for some time. David Bowditch, the FBI's assistant director in charge of the Los Angeles field office, told reporters Monday there is evidence the two had been planning their deadly attack. U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch said the Justice Department will investigate the Chicago Police Department.
The Department of Justice has opened an investigation into whether the Chicago Police Department has engaged in a pattern or practice of violations of the Constitution or federal law.
That probe follows the recent release of a video from a police shooting incident that occurred in 2014. The video shows a black suspect being shot by a police officer. That officer, Jason Van Dyke, has been charged with first-degree murder. The release of the video triggered protests and allegations that authorities had tried to cover up the incident. An official in southern Somalia says authorities have captured an American who was a member of the militant group Al-Shabaab. The official tells VOA's Somali service the man surrendered to officials and African Union troops in the coastal town of Barawe in Somalia's lower Shabelle region. Election officials in Venezuela say the opposition has won control of the country's legislature, delivering a defeat to the ruling Socialist Party. Authorities say the opposition, with some districts yet to be counted, won 99 of 167 seats in the National Assembly. The Socialist Party had won only 46. The results are a major setback for the long-dominant socialists who had led the country for 16 years. This is VOA News. Republican U.S. presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has called for a total and complete ban on Muslims entering the United States until the nation's leaders can, in his words, figure out what is going on. Trump alleged that polling data showed hatred toward Americans by large segments of the Muslim population. Controversial statements against Muslims are nothing new for Trump, who has called on the government to monitor mosques and has refused to rule out his earlier proposal to enter the names of Muslims in America into a database. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden says $190 million in new U.S. aid to Ukraine will help the country implement reforms and fight corruption. The vice president spoke in Kiev on Monday during a joint briefing with Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko. The briefing followed talks between the two leaders. Latvia's prime minister has handed in her resignation. Laimduat Strojutma said Monday she is stepping down after only 2 years in office because new ideas are needed. Her resignation follows infighting within her center-right ruling coalition. A UN envoy says talks to end more than a year of violence in Yemen will begin December 15th. Ismail Ould Sheikh Ahmed said the exiled government and Houthi rebels have committed to participating in negotiations in Switzerland next week. Loyalists of the former President Abdullah Saleh are also expected to attend the meeting. Turkey is refusing to withdraw forces it deployed to Iraq. Dorian Jones takes a look.
Iraq threatened to take Turkey to the United Nations Security Council if Ankara fails to remove recently deployed soldiers and armor. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu has ruled out any withdrawal. He said it's Turkey's duty to provide security for the soldiers involved with training there. Hundreds of soldiers, backed by 20 tanks, were sent to Iraq to bolster defenses of Turkish forces training Iraqi troops planning to take Mosul from Islamic State militants. Dorian Jones, Istanbul.
The U.S. military says recent airstrikes have killed 2 militant leaders in Africa. Pentagon spokesman Captain Jeff Davis said a December 2nd airstrike in Somalia killed Abdurrahman Sandhere, senior leader of the militant group Al-Shabaab, and 2 of his associates. The Pentagon also said the U.S. has confirmed that an airstrike last month killed Abdul Nabil. He was head of the Islamic State militant group in Libya. For more on these stories, check our website. It's voanews.com. And in Washington, I'm DeForest.
That's the latest world news from VOA.